We are live, and I'm on a different camera today. Which this FaceTime camera is actually pretty decent.
It looks good.
It's actually really nice. You can see the
By the
dolphins a
way,
lot more prevalently in the background.
but I love the purple, like the purple bluish glow behind you. It looks really cool.
I love water, and I like this wallpaper was up, so I was like, you know what, I'm not going to take that down. I like water. Dolphins are kind of creepy sometimes, but like I'll put blue lights up behind it. We'll just be like an under the sea type of vibe, and I think that's super cool.
I could be wrong, but I think dolphins are known to be like one of the smartest mammals.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Dolphins
So
and border collies.
you hear about anything and everything at Flip Trader, you know? There's
Today we're going
always
to be
something to
talking
learn.
about. Today we're talking about. I'm just waiting for the thing to catch up here. Today we're talking about border collies and dolphins on the Flip Trader podcast.
Yeah. And the expert's going to be Ian because I don't know anything about it.
No. I know a lot about border collies, not a lot about dolphins. No, today what we're going to be talking about as this thing comes up here is we're going to be talking about adaptability and removing resistance, and how removing resistance is being adaptable and not getting yourself stuck into certain situations that you can't get out of, or allowing the outside world to press on your inside world and completely change your course. And, I'm going to make it as simple as that, because we'll just go into the depth. Last week's episode was the most watched that we've had in the last 4 weeks of any episode we've done. And we're doing 6 hours a week. So true testament to your expertise and the value and energy that you bring. So yeah, this is awesome. Of course.
Thank you. I'm really excited. I'm just really excited to be able to share the information, especially with a group of people that are in real estate. I've said this before, but I can't express this enough. The biggest reason why I love this industry is people don't come into real estate because they're looking for a job. They're really coming into real estate because they want to use it as a vehicle to fund their dream life, right?
100%.
To fund their dream life. And you're saying, I believe in me. I'm betting on me. Right.
Yeah.
I'm not betting on a paycheck. I'm not going to trade my hours for, money, but I'm going to bet on me and really allow real estate to be a vehicle. That's why I love real estate. And it breaks my heart when people don't stick with it. Why do
you think that is?
Resistance.
Yes. And they're not adaptable.
Yes. Right. They literally, we are going to come across challenges all the time. Right. And yet at the end of the day, when we can educate ourselves and learn more about us, this is another thing too. Sales. The reason why the highest paid job are sales, right? Sales opportunities is because you really have a blank checkbook. But in the same note of it, sales exposes yourself. You have to look at yourself in the mirror and face your strengths and your weaknesses.
Yeah.
And I believe the longer the payout, right? Like in a lot of sales, you might get sales done within a couple of hours. You might close a deal within, a day or two. But your sales transaction on a given real estate is anywhere from 45 to 60 days, if not more, when it comes to commercial and larger investments.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? So your ability to be able to look at yourself and say, these are my strengths, these are my weaknesses. How do I develop my weaknesses that I want to grow? Or how do I surround myself with a team of people that can help me and face myself? And I believe that's why salespeople get paid the most amount of money, because they overcome their own challenges. You have to kind of like take a swallow of your pill, right? Put your ego in your back pocket sometimes and say, you know what? This is who I am, and this is who I want to become, and these are the steps that I'm going to take to get there.
Yeah, yesterday with Mike Menino, our group expert for the week in flipping and scaling your business. And by the way, quick plug, Mike's going to be on tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, talking about all his systems, processes, and the leverage he uses to flip houses that he never sees out of state. And he's really successful at it. And he retired his dad, and great stuff. So the thing that we talked about yesterday was two different points. One was, I can set all the goals that I want, but who do I need to become to actually get those goals accomplished? One. Two was, you can set all the goals you want. You can have the biggest, baddest goals out there and feel amazing. And your goal sheet looks amazing when you present it to your friends or your company. the thing you have to think about is, what am I actually willing to do to get those accomplished? And what am I willing to sacrifice? For everybody watching right now, whether you're live or you're watching the replay, those two questions are massive as we get into the end of the year and you're setting goals for 2024. It's, are these goals, are they doable? Are they possible? And the answer is always going to be yes. And the biggest question is, am I the person that can actually hit these goals and do the work necessary? And then maybe most important, am I willing to make the necessary sacrifices, or am I willing to do the work necessary to hit them? Because like we talked about yesterday, some people will say, I want to make $1 million. I'm like, well, you made 120 this year. You're going to 10X. Okay, great. It's possible. What are you willing to do? Who are you willing to become? And what are you willing to sacrifice? You willing to do 7 days a week and miss time with your family, or your body go to shit? Like, what are you willing to actually do here? And are you willing to make that sacrifice in the short term for a long-term gain? That's adaptability, big time. And the reason why most goals aren't hit is the other topic of today, which is resistance. Because you know you can do it. You can align with the right people to guide you. However, if you're not the person with the right discipline or habits or skills or mindset or behaviors or attitude, you will never get that goal accomplished. Or you will muscle and hustle that goal and you will burn out, or you'll cost yourself in other areas of your life. Do you agree with that?
100%. I do believe people can take quantum leaps. I've actually experienced it, and I've had other people experience it all around me, right? Where they can 10x their income or 10x their wealth, if not more. So
Yeah.
it's doable, but it's exactly what you said. Who are you willing to become?
Yeah.
And we talked about this in previous calls. We do not get to create our future, but it's our decisions and our habits that do. And we are completely full as is. So we have to be willing to give up. What are you willing to release so that you can become something else? Right. And because of that, that's why I'm a huge believer in personal development. And we're going to go into this because adaptability is so important. Adaptability is so important. Change is inevitable. Like, think about how much change is happening right now. And especially now with the advancement of technology. I was at a mastermind board of advisor this past week and surrounded by amazing global entrepreneurs. And the conversation was a lot around AI. And they talked about artificial intelligence, that we can teach people things about artificial intelligence now. And that same thing would be obsolete 3 weeks from now.
Oh,
3
interesting.
weeks from now. 3
Yeah.
weeks, because that's how quickly our technology is advancing.
Yeah.
So now more than ever is understanding adaptability. So what is most important when it comes to adaptability is understanding why do we feel what we feel? Who are we? Really getting to know ourselves. Like, who are we? How do we operate? Where do I want to go? Like, setting those goals. Goals are, how many people set goals and never look at their goal? Never look at their goal.
Yeah.
It's like wanting to be in relationship with someone, but never dating them or never spending time with them. So I always tell people setting goals is so important, but what's more important is actually getting into relationship with your goals, right? Imagining what your life is like as you accomplish those goals. Even a hack trick, even more than that. Now that you've accomplished that goal, what does your life currently look like? Like, who are you?
Yeah.
What does your environment look like? What kind of activities are you doing? What kind of conversations are you having with whom? Because if you can get into that state of imagination and unlock it and bring it into that now, see, in energy doesn't know sense of space or time.
Right.
Right. But everything that we do, we actually create into our reality, everything that we feel.
Yeah. You know, what comes up for me when you say that is, even if you're willing to become the person that can get the goal accomplished, even if you're willing to do the work that it takes, and you're willing to make those sacrifices, when the goal gets accomplished, are you future projecting enough with what your life will look like outside of the money, outside of the cool toys and the vacations and the house, and, like, you know, the sort of like the escape pods, the angles of avoidance, or the avoidance tactics that you're kind of like looking for money to get you? Are you okay with the life that you're going to create? And take the money out. You know, if you make these sacrifices and you do this work to get this goal accomplished, will it cost you your marriage? Will it cost you your relationship with your kids? Will you see your parents? I mean, have you ever seen the chart? It's called, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get it while we're on here. But anyway, it's a chart that basically shows all the years or days of your life. And if you're a certain age, like most of them, if you're 40, 50 years old, most of them, maybe it's like half or, almost half checked off. And then if you start looking at the time you have left with your parents, if you don't live with your parents or live around them, I mean, like live in the same town or close to them, and you see your parents twice a year for holidays, and your parents are a certain age and the certain life expectancy has this many years left on it, are you okay with seeing your parents 14 more times in their lifetime, in your lifetime? You have to think about stuff like that, because that goes into goal setting too. Like one of the goals I had was to move to LA and have all this, these great experiences. And the reason why we came back here was because I didn't want to miss that time with my parents and my kids with their grandparents and around other family. I couldn't buy that time back. And I knew that setting the goals, although I was ready to achieve them and we achieved most of them, there was a sense and a weight of regret that I wasn't willing to deal with in the future that I knew would come with the decisions that I was making. So I really want people to think about, as they're listening to this conversation, yes, you can get the goals accomplished. Are you okay with what results come in total from those goals being accomplished outside of money?
I love that conversation. And I got to tell you, I'm a huge believer in and. And what I mean by that is we've been living in separation, that we have to do this or that, or we have to, stand for this or that, or whatever the
Yeah.
case is. A big thing for me is separating spirituality into business and business into spirituality. When I believe it's it's an and. And the reason why I bring that up is if and when we take the time and the moment to actually allow ourselves and asking ourselves, what is that life that we want to create for ourselves? What kind of money? And the reason why I believe money is so important is because money is actually a data point for you to be able to stretch your imagination and be able to chart where you are towards your goals.
Yeah.
So ask yourself, in a perfect world, if I gave you the magic wand, right? If in a perfect world, what would you love to earn in a given year? What would you love to earn? Like, don't think about the how of getting there, but what would you love to earn? And then asking yourself, okay, now what do your relationships look like? How does it look like with your significant other? How does it look like with your children, your business partners, your coworkers, right? Who do you want to surround yourself with? What kind of experiences are you having? What does your health look like? What does your personal development status look like? What does your spirituality look like? And
Right.
taking the moment to actually write all those things down and get an image in your mind, because everything on this planet does exist twice. It exists in someone's imagination and then it comes into reality. And when we're not balanced, because all we're doing is focusing on money, then we leave out on the other aspects. But when we bring that in together and create an and, wow, then
Yeah.
all of a sudden you actually elevate all those people around you, including your family, your friends, your children, your spouse, all of it. You start elevating everyone because it's by law. So going back to resistance and adaptability, this is why it's so important to really get into flow. When we're feeling resistance, that means we're shoving a square into a circle. We're
Yeah.
shoving a square into a circle. And I love this statement. We cannot create the solution in the same vibration that the problem came in. So again, we cannot create a solution in the same vibration that the problem came in. And this is so important for people in real estate because we in real estate, things shift all the time, right? You get a call that the deal might be falling through. You get a call that this lender may not be wanting to invest anymore, or you get a call that the buyer doesn't want to buy. I mean, name it, you've been there. But we as humans have been programmed naturally to find a solution right away, like almost take action right away. Oh shit, that's falling apart. What can I do? What do I need to do?
Right.
Well, just keep this in mind. When we react to a situation, we're going to create the same problem that may look a little different. So this is a hack trick that I share with everybody. When a problem comes in and you face resistance, you're feeling resistance, like all of a sudden you face resistance, take a breath. Slow down for a second. Almost be the observer of it and say, wow, this came in.
Yeah.
And then do something to increase your vibration. That might be going for a walk. That might be going into exercise. That might be playing your favorite playlist to get your music going, just to distract your mind away from whatever just occurred.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? I have one where I literally go and I put myself in timeout and I take 4 deep breaths just to slow down my heart rate, to expand the cells in my body, increase that energy. And then I go back to exactly what came in and say, what do I want? What do I want? Well, I want this deal to get put together. I want this, I want the investment fully funded, right? I go back and giving myself permission to say, what do I want? And then I say, what do I want? I almost envision that thing occurring. And all of a sudden, I will receive clearer ideas, better ideas that's going to take
Yeah.
me to a better solution. Oh my God, this person said that he wanted to be an investor. Oh my God, this other buyer said that they wanted this, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I'm no longer reacting, no longer reacting. I am now creating. Creating. That's what we're all born for, is to create. And it's so wild. Reacting and creating are the same letters
Hmm.
spelled out differently.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Think about it, reacting and creating. And when we can learn that we are absolute creators of our world, and just know that when resistance come in, it's only because something better is there waiting for you.
Yeah.
The only time that you can actually fail is when you give up on yourself. But when you feel resistance, it's actually doing two things. Number one, it's expanding more of what it is that you desire. And number two, it's actually prioritizing the order in which you want to experience things as a human.
You know, I'm just monitoring all the activity in the feed here. The thing that comes up for me when you say that is, for those that, going to the other side of this, let's say goal setting, where you're out of alignment and the goals aren't getting hit because you haven't become the person, you haven't learned what you need to learn, you haven't aligned with the right people who can guide you. And then there's the piece that I don't know why my goals aren't getting hit. I don't know what's going on. And then you start to react. Well, that resistance, like you said, is telling you slow down. You are the bottleneck to these goals. They can be hit, no problem. You're the bottleneck. And if you step back and move out of the way, the line can run, which is the energy,
Mhm.
the vibration, the attraction, like that can just run to you. So like the thing that I started thinking in my business when I would get like really mad, angry about us not hitting our metrics or hitting the goals or whatever it was, a coach said to me many years ago, "You're the problem." And I said, "No, it's my employees. It's this, it's the fucking market." And he goes, "What if you couldn't blame anybody but you?" And I said, "I'll take that on. What if you couldn't blame anybody but you and you had to take full responsibility for everything around you, even the stuff that happens outside of you, like the 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 fact that you're late to a meeting because your tire went flat, it's on you.
Mhm.
Or the whatever it is, it's on you. What if you took everything on 100% for your life? Couldn't blame anybody. What kind of government would we have? Like, think about the babies that are in government that constantly push blame. And there's a leader of the babies. You know who it is. I'm not going to get political on this. Like, and I'm not talking about anything political. I'm talking about the humans. Like, what would it look like for you to step back and say, okay, resistance, thank you for coming into my world because you're telling me that I'm going down the wrong path or a non-serving path.
Yeah.
How am I in my way right now? I'm not going to
Mhm.
blame anything outside of me. What do I need to do to move out of my own way? And then have all of your power, all of your energy go to figuring that out versus trying to get this person to do what you want and that person and this guy quit on me and that guy. Like, that's so much energy wasted. It's dissipated. Where if you take it all on yourself, it's 100% on you. You can solve the problem,
Mhm.
and then you can remove yourself as the bottleneck, and the universe just delivers flow.
A gazillion percent.
Yeah,
It's literally that resistance. And whenever we blame the outer world, whether it's people, places, circumstances, or things, we're actually giving our power away.
yeah,
Right? We're giving our power away. And it's wild if you think about it. As little kids and babies, when you go through stuff, they have a temper tantrum, but they pick themselves back up and they go do their thing and you know, they maneuver through life. But it's wild because as we become adults, we start giving our power away and start blaming people as to why we don't get to live the life that we do. Right.
right.
And then it becomes a program that we're literally blaming our outer world. Well, I will share with you, the more that you're blaming the outer world, the more that you find judgment in the people that are around you, you better believe there's a reason why when you point your finger at something, there's three pointing back at you. It's a resistance and a vibration that's occurring inside of you, giving you a warning that something's off inside of you. That's the reason why you're attracting these people, places, and circumstances that's causing even more resistance. And
Yeah,
another thing that I didn't realize for so long is asking yourself, do you have the right goal? Like, is it something that you love and you were willing to do anything for? Because when that desire comes from within, when there's a desire that comes from within, something that you really want to accomplish, nothing can stand in your way, and you will get it done.
Yeah.
But if you pick a goal because you think that that's what the outer world expects of you, whether it's your parents, your spouse, your colleagues or whatever, then the first or second point of resistance, you're just going to give up because you're not emotionally attached to it. You're like,
Right.
whatever, right? Your subconscious is like, you don't really want this in the first place. But it's the ability to actually hear that and understand, our feelings, all our feelings are like, we as humans get to have feelings because our feelings is just an indicator of our vibrational state. Our vibrational state. And if we can understand that everything is energy, which is vibration, which is frequency, and the frequency that we're on is what we're constantly attracting. And then it's discovering what frequency we want to get on to be in alignment with the life that we want to live.
Yeah.
It's all energy. That's why, Ian, you know this. When you're feeling amazing and you're in flow, we just talked about this. You gave yourself permission, like, I'm going to step away from all this stuff that I'm not even that passionate about, and I'm going to give myself space. And I'm going to choose to feel good because happiness is a choice, right? Happiness is a choice. I'm going to choose to feel good. The second you did that, all of a sudden you became a magnet for all these opportunities.
Huge.
You became a magnet to it because we're always a magnet.
Yeah.
And if you're finding resistance and challenges, that's what you're a magnet for, because that's what you're pushing out there. You're pushing out there. Wow. And going back to
think about what's released in others' lives, right? So if you think about the one choice that I made, right? So you think about the domino effect. One choice I made, I was very passionate about my men's coaching business too. There was so much resistance that I was like, okay, I gotta move something here. I'm in the way. Clearly, if it's all on me and I'm the owner and runner of this business, it's all on me. Think about who else's alignment now matches, or the frequency now dials in from other people's lives when you make one decision. So I made one decision to say, I'm going to step out of the way. I'm going to take my hands off the wheel and I'm going to sit back. And by literally within 1 week, I'm on the phone with Damon and Ben, right? Think about that. So not only did I get freedom inside from what I was already feeling and experiencing, but now that the universe went, thank you, God, thank you for getting out of your freaking way, dude. Here's your delivery the universe has infinite patience.
Yes.
Infinite. It will never get pissed off for you being in your own way. It will just remind you with the resistance that you feel, that energy you feel, that anger, that's resistance. That's what the universe is telling you. You're going the wrong path. You're bumping into walls. In that moment that I chose to release, the universe sent a signal to Damon and Ben and Dom. It said, this is the guy you need to align with. And bam, we were on a call. Now, here's the other thing.
So
not
beautiful.
only did that one choice release that and align our frequencies, but it aligned our frequencies, you and I. I would have never met you if I were in my own way. I would have never met Marina. I would have never met a lot of the people that I now know who I'm actually very close with. Like, I'm going to see you in a couple days and we're going to hug like we're old friends, right? And we only know each other for like 6 weeks. If you think about it, like, that's it. But because of that alignment, the vibrational frequency alignment, and the fact that you and I are very authentic in how we speak and how we share, it's instant connection. It's instant trust until you break the trust, but like it's delivered instantly. It's delivered. And I want to talk about something having to do with language, because the language that we use and the mindset that we have, like, there are many components to the formula that adds up to the result you have. I had this really cool exercise that I built called the life formula. I made it up for myself because I wanted to understand how to gauge my growth in a mathematical equation without being emotional or having to register feelings. I feel like I'm growing. I feel like I'm doing well, because that could change in an instant if something happens that's major in your life. And one of the biggest things was language and how I talk to myself. And I've been trained for over 1,000 hours in Landmark. And if you've never heard of Landmark, it's just really cool. I really enjoyed it. And what they talked about was, when you share with somebody, you share a background of relatedness. So I'm going to share a story, and it's kind of vulnerable. I may tear up. And this I was in one of their really advanced programs, and we were talking about our power statements that help us avoid dealing with things.
Mhm.
And my statement was, fuck it, I'll do it on my own. Fuck it, I'll figure it out. Right. And fuck it, it doesn't matter. So because the instructor, it was a very small group and we were like, you couldn't hide, called me up and he said, I'm going to break you today. You're the guy with the most ego in here. I'm going to break you down today. You okay with that? And I said, my ego doesn't like that. And yes, my soul likes that. I need to break free. And he said, all right, point at me and say, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And I just kept saying, he goes, get angrier. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Fuck it. It doesn't matter. And he goes, now I'm a mirror and your finger goes from here to here. Now say that. And I instantly teared up. Like I feel that feeling now. The moment my finger pointed at me, I feel that in my body right now, which was, fuck it, you don't matter.
Mhm.
And so what I
I
was
have
saying to
goosebumps.
myself
Mhm.
when I said, fuck, it doesn't matter, I'll figure it out. Like I learned that from my dad in business. My dad was like, oh, whatever, I don't need that employee. I'll figure that shit out. I'll do it myself. Sorry for all the cussing people. If you're offended, don't listen. Don't take this. Don't get offended by that. Listen to the real depth of here.
Yes.
The moment I realized that my language was one of my bottlenecks and that every time I
Mhm.
said it doesn't matter, I was saying I don't matter. And when I started to change that and realize how much I mattered to me, which I had to figure out, by the way, because it was my job, my business, my money
Right.
that was making me matter to the world. When I started to point that finger and say, you matter, that does matter. It does matter if an employee leaves because that's your fault. That's on you. You didn't create an environment where they were safe, where they felt included. And that guy who fired you, that's your fault. It's not the market that didn't sell that house. It's your fault because you didn't give them enough and you didn't ask enough questions to figure out how to serve them best. That's on you. It matters because you matter. That was a game changer for me. A game changer.
It's so powerful what you just said.
Yeah.
We teach this thing called impression of increase. It's so powerful and it's so true. If you actually knew that everything in your outside world is actually an extension of you, it's
Yeah.
an extension of you.
Yeah.
Would you treat anyone poorly? Would you treat anyone poorly? Like, I truly believe that everything is a transmutation of energy. So, can you imagine that every single human that you came across, you left them better off because they connected with you? And
Yeah.
you had that mindset because everything matters.
Yeah.
Everything matters and every moment matters. Right. And that doesn't mean that we're perfect. It doesn't mean that we have to feel amazing emotions all the time, but having gratitude and the awareness as to where those emotions come. This whole journey of life is a discovery of you. And we as humans get to play with people, places, and things in order for us to create on this planet Earth.
Yeah.
Right. And now more than ever, adaptability is huge, huge. And I love this terminology. The new definition of illiteracy is not the inability to read or write. The new definition of illiteracy is our ability to learn, unlearn, and relearn.
Hmm.
So I'm going to learn, unlearn, and then relearn. And the reason why is the thing that's holding you back from all your goals and your dreams and your aspirations. You're not even realizing is that these simple habits that's holding you back that you're not even aware of. Simple habits that don't serve you. They may have served you at some point or they created a skill set that you may have now, but it's literally a belief system and a habit, a way of thinking or something that we're doing that's holding us back from us achieving our greatest potential.
Yeah.
It literally is. So
Yeah.
our ability to, again, learn, unlearn, and relearn gives us the power to realize, oh my gosh, like throughout my own personal journey, the biggest aha for me is when I come across a paradigm, which a paradigm is a set of mental programs that are stored in our subconscious mind, which by the way, our subconscious mind is not in our brain, it's in every cell of our body.
Yeah.
But when I come across a paradigm that's like, whoa, I did not even know I was operating under this belief system that's been limiting me my entire life. I did not even know. So
Yeah.
I come across, and this is very important practice. When you come across something and a belief system that you've been operating under that we either adopted before we were born or we developed along the way, whatever the case is, when we become aware, no judgment, no judgment, no regrets, become aware of it and say, wow, I'm so grateful that I just became aware that I had this belief that no longer served me. And I'm also grateful that this came here to actually build me to who I am today. So love on it, release it,
Yeah.
forgive others that may have put that belief in you, because everyone is doing the best that they can with the level of awareness that they have.
Yeah.
And then forgive yourself of actually having that belief or not, whatnot, and then start to learn to love yourself unconditionally and say, wow, now that I became aware of it, what do I want to believe?
Yeah.
I want to believe I deserve to be wealthy. I want to believe I deserve to be loved. I want to believe that I can be, do, and have it all.
Yeah.
And just because of that one decision and saying I am, all of a sudden the universe will start shifting. Because this is a thing, so much that we've been programmed that the world is out to get us, but guess what, the universe has your back like you're not going to believe. It wants you to be fully
Always.
expressed, always. It loves you more than anyone or anything in the world, right? It
Yes.
wants you to be successful. It actually wants you to be the richest possible as well. We
Yeah.
just need to believe it.
Yeah, that is a great point. I think maybe the besides the getting awareness of what has been holding you back, what that resistance is, what that programming is, where it came from, I think the most important thing is your ability or your agreement to unlearn it
Yes.
and to forgive mom and dad. And I know people are like, "Wait, this is a real estate investor group. Why are we talking about this?" This has everything to do with your life. This has everything to do with your relationships, your
Your
business,
deals.
your
Mhm.
deals, everything to do with your money, your
Oh, yeah.
money in your bank, everything, because it's programming. If you grew up
Mhm.
poor and your parents instilled programs in you that was poor mindseted, scarcity, you are going to, even if you acquire money, you're still going to be spending money with a scarcity mindset unless you
Yes.
agree to relearn or unlearn and learn a new mindset around money or
Yes.
around doing deals. Or there are coaching clients that I've had in the past that, because of their financial situation growing up, they have limited their own intake of money or their own flow of financial resources, or because their parents were poor and they didn't want to surpass too much because their sisters and brothers would, bust their chops at Thanksgiving dinner, like that one thing. Or
I
people
know.
that are heavy and overweight that really want to be skinny, but their whole family's fat and they don't want to be called out as, oh, you're the one that's skinny now. Like they literally hold themselves back because of what others will think and the
Mhm.
program that was instilled in them. So I think that's so brilliant what you said, and it's so simple and it's so complicated at the same time because you have to act on it and you have to do something about it. You've got to know, you've got to what is it? It's learn, unlearn, and relearn.
Mhm.
So
Learn,
you have to
unlearn.
learn about what you learned and the programming that you have. You have to unlearn that and show forgiveness, because
Yes.
how many of us have resentment toward our parents for stuff that they did or didn't do in our childhood that we're still holding on to 30 years later? We all have that. And then relearn a new way that's serving, not right or wrong,
Yeah.
serving. And the
Serving.
serving is your life, your goals, and the trajectory of what you want as you make your mark on this planet. That's it. Like, do you
Yeah.
want to be a taker and a user and then die with no legacy? Like that's our big fourth pillar, sustainable legacy. Are you here to make a ton of money, use, take, just just grind it out and then you die and nobody remembers you? Or do you want statues built of you with that sustainable legacy and people have your picture up 7 generations later because you made a
Correct.
massive difference in the world and you have some money? Like, that's awesome. That's what I'm looking for. So I had to remove the old me, right? That's why my coaching business was called The Irreplaceable Man, because I wanted to know where that irreplaceable version of me was inside, the one that doesn't have fear and doesn't have old programming and traumas and all that. And that guy's in there. We're just covered with all this armor that we've been programmed to put on because it protects us from feeling pain. And that
Right.
happens in business all the time. And how many sales guys out there have a really big shutdown and their numbers fade out and they just cannot figure out how to get back online? My buddy Chris, he has a sales training program, and he dives, like, you think you're going to go to him and learn all about sales? a lot of what he does is about mindset and programming to unlearn the junk that you have and the head trash that you have that sets up the results that you have. And then people
100%.
go, oh, this is actually very easy. And I really didn't need all this other sales training that I've been taking for years. I just needed to reprogram my mind. And that's our job here, is to help people understand the massive importance to understand your programming, agree to give it up, to leave it alone, to leave it in the past where it belongs, and relearn the new way that'll serve you best and move on with your life.
100%. It's so simple and easy. And I know people that may hear this right now may say, you know what? That's full of crap. Like, it's not simple and easy. I used to literally say simple, not easy all the time. And 2 years ago, I made a conscious decision. We talked about words and how powerful words are. I
Yeah.
made a conscious decision that I wanted to start saying simple and easy because I don't want things to be hard. And I got to share with you, for 2 years, I've been speaking simple and easy. Ask the people around me. It is simple and easy. And the reason why is because I created into my reality as a program. As
Yeah.
a program. And I truly believe this. It's even harder to live with your life with programs that don't serve you versus discover it. And yes, it may not feel good when you discover certain things. You're like, oh,
Sure.
I'm responsible for that. It may not feel good, but take a bite of that and take control back. And all of a sudden you're like, you know what? It is so much more powerful for me to take that power back and take responsibility for it versus blame somebody else and outside circumstances for the rest of my life and not be able to become the true person that I'm supposed to be and the true life that I'm deserving to live. Right.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
the most important thing that I want people to understand. We're always going to face resistance. Just keep that in mind. It is
Yeah.
through the resistance that we expand and grow, right? It is through the resistance that we expand and grow and get more clarity on what it is that we want. Just understand, if you feel like you're shoving a square into a circle, there might be a bigger message for you that you're creating inside of
Yeah.
you, right? So learn about that and become aware, and then learn the skill sets to become adaptable, right? Adaptable. And the way that I believe that you become the most adaptable is understanding you.
Yes. I would agree
Right?
with that.
Because understanding you. And the reason behind that is you're no longer going to live life being forced around by outside nature. You're really going to live life knowing that you're the creator of it all and that you're creating in every moment, which gives you the more power and the knowing to be able to adapt to any given situations. It's not going to matter what happens to the economy. It's not going to matter what happens to the politics. It's not going to matter what happens to your industry. You are going to be able to adapt because you're going to value yourself more and understand yourself more and have the skills and the knowing to be able to maneuver through life and create whatever it is that you want. And you know this, Ian,
Yeah.
any and every hardship in our cycle of life, right? During a recession or a depression, there are more multimillionaires and more successful that are people that are birthed, right? Because they're in the form of creating solutions.
Yeah.
So right now is opportunity time as long as you believe that.
Yeah. And aligning with the most serving people as
Yeah.
well, for sure. I
100%.
you had I won't use the word corrected. You had suggested to me when I said simple, not easy. You said to me, it's simple and easy. And when I thought about that, because I take direction and coaching, like I'm mass coachable, right? I like that, especially from somebody like you who's expert. I'm like, you know what? That sounds like a really simple thing to say, to change that one word from not to and. And when I went back and I looked at my business this time last year, and I've been very successful, but like I was in a lot of resistance and I was very dependent on other people to create. And when I started building Flip Trader and I look back at how my mindset was for my business just October of last year to what Flip Trader is today, you know, it's a different business, obviously, and it's simple and easy. I built everything. Like, yeah, we have a team behind the scenes now, but I went into Flip Trader with it's simple and easy, and I can build it because I have to build it. If it's going to come from my brain, I got to build a little bit to then, you know, get momentum to bring other people on.
Yeah.
It's not that old adage of like what I was telling about earlier, like, oh, whatever, I'll do it myself. It wasn't that. It was, well, if you have an idea, you got to put it down on paper and start to set it up so others can see the vision, start to manifest, and then help you. But like, I really realized that, like, if anybody's looking at or listening to this and thinking, you know, how do I take this? I can tell you right now that I'll tell you the guy's name, Neil Roseman. He's the guy that did that to me or for me. He did that for me when he did the finger thing. I'll point back at you and say it to you. I don't matter. Just that little thing alone was a major trajectory change in my life. So if you're listening to this today, encourage your friends to come on every Wednesday, because one, you'll know who's really into growth, personal growth, and not in your friend circle and your environment. And two, there is 100% one thing that can change the exact trajectory of your life from this conversation today in 40 minutes. 100%. I'll go to my grave with that guarantee. You can 100% change your entire life by listening to just this Wednesday 1 hour with Jan and I. And it's not to say that like Marina and Brandon and all of our other group experts aren't powerful. They absolutely are. I feel the most lit up when I'm talking like this. Like go back and look at Marina from Monday. Her freaking training was mind-blowing if you're ready to take action.
Yes.
Brandon's trainings, mind-blowing if you're ready to take action. Last week, Paul Thompson, mind-blowing if you're ready to take action. So our people in Flip Trader, the culture that we're building is an education-based real estate investor who's always seeking information to grow themselves and their business. And on top of that, they are action takers. Action takers. So everybody listening to this right now, because we've had a solid, steady flow of people, you're an action taker. So if you have to go back and rewind this, we can get you the transcriptions if you want to highlight, which is what I like to do. Something in this today will change the trajectory of your life. Which one is it? And that's all you got to think about. Jan and I were put here for a reason. You were put on this call for a reason to listen to this. We're not just babbling back and forth. This is really good information. What will you do with it? That's a challenge to everybody. What will you do with this information now? And that's up to you.
I love that.
Yeah.
So powerful.
Yeah.
So powerful. You know, just one highlight, which is so powerful. Remember that word reacting and creating that we just talked about?
Yeah.
Right. Your old version of yourself was reacting, right?
Yeah.
Like, sure, I'm going to do it all by myself.
Yes.
Right. This version of you is creating, right?
Yep.
Like, I want to build, I want to create. Just so you know, everybody on this call, whoever's watching, you were born as a creator.
Yep.
You were born as a creator. So get the image in your mind of what it is that you want. Understand that you're capable of it and that you're deserving of it.
Yes.
And then just take action. Take massive action. So.
All right. I am going to turn these into podcast episodes because they are very powerful. And because you can listen, you don't have to like look at the screen and with some of the other trainings, like I'll probably turn those in as well with some kind of like tool that we can upload. I love these. I absolutely love these. And it's not that I don't look forward to the other ones. I know that everything grows from this, you know, and you and I are kindred spirits. Like we are aligned.
Everything is energy. You can feel it flowing through the Zoom. So anybody, or Zoom or StreamYard, anybody that's watching, it's a felt thing. So feel it, listen to it. We're here to serve, and just give yourself permission to live your best life.
Yeah. And look at the intensity that Jan and I have, right? We're not pitching a product. We're not selling anything right now. All we're doing is saying, this is what could change your life. And you look at the intensity that Jan has when she's presenting this information, or like have. And even if you didn't see us, you can feel that intensity just listening. So maybe close your eyes next time and just hear us and what vibrational, stuff goes through you. Maybe that's how you need to know, like, oh, that's my barometer. Oh, it's that really triggered me. Like you said, when I started talking about the finger pointing, it was like, oh, I got goosebumps. Like I feel that. And I felt it too. My energy radiated into you. Your energy radiated back to me. We're 500 miles apart right now.
Energy knows no space or time. It just is.
Right. So, Jan, it's always a pleasure. Thank you for all your gifts, your energy, your time, your wisdom. Yeah.
Thank you for all that you are, Ian. And thank you for all those that are listening. Thank you. Thank you for being you. We want the full expression of you. So give yourself permission to dream big and allow that to happen. Yeah.
Yes. Flip Trader Group, thank you so much for being here. I hope you got a lot out of it. If you wouldn't mind, go into the comments and just drop one of your ahas and maybe something that you learned is an aha for somebody else that maybe is struggling with this type of topic. And maybe that's a connection that the universe just put in place for the two of you to connect and share stories and talk about your own growth. So we appreciate you. Every day content that is valuable, that you could take action on immediately. That's our goal. That's our mission. We don't just give you just talking. Take action from this content. We encourage you. We want you to do that. We want to see your lives grow and your businesses grow and you to have the best balanced life possible. So we love you. We appreciate you. And we'll see you on the next one.